Hi, everybody. It's Friday night. Welcome to PoliTarology. I have Meldor, Val, Cleo, and Shari with me tonight. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about some interesting politics. We're going to talk a little bit about Monsieur Trump and his difficulty in talking about people with different colored skin. We're going to talk a little bit about his so-called VP and about his ability or disability to hide his past. And we're going to talk a little bit about lovely Ms. Harris's VP pick. So before we get into all that, we're going to go around the circle. Everybody can say hi and let you know what's going on their channels. So Cleo, let's start with you. What's going on for you?
We got not a whole lot. I've got Monday is caffeinated and unfiltered, and we've been doing that once a month for the summer, and I think that's probably going to continue on through September. I don't know for sure. So we're just on once a month. And then next Thursday, I've got kitchen table issues with you and Marina, with Colleen and Marina. And then on Friday, next Friday, I've got the Cool Crone Oracle. And then that's what I've got going on. I might also be doing another thing with Colleen on Sunday, but I haven't set it up with her yet. So I don't really know if we're doing that or not. But if we are, we might just keep an eye out for us. It's called Politics in America.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks very much. And thanks for the heads up. Okay. Shari, what's going on with you?
Me?
Yeah.
Same old, PoliTarology, Sisters, Golden Girls, Draining Swamp with Mel twice a month. And I don't know, a variety of other things. I don't have my book open, so I can't rattle it off the top of my head. But just go to my community page, you'll find it. I
Excellent.
post everything there, so.
Excellent. That's great. Thanks very much. Val, hello. What's going on for you?
Well, pretty much the same schedule Shari's got. She's in all my shows. But also, I just want to let people know there is time to sign up for the psychic mediumship class that Allie Martin of Heart and Soul Connected and I are teaching tomorrow on Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can still sign up for that at dragonflycrystals.store. And while you're there, you can check out all the different classes I offer for September, including the Akashic Records reading class, where you will learn to read the Akashic Records. So go there and find out what I've got. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Val. And I have to say, as a student of Val's, her classes are excellent. She presents things really well, very well organized. She has good handouts. But more than that, her attention to you in the class is I'm just priceless. It's just amazing. It helps a lot. It really helps you learn. And our special guest, who is stepping into Gerald's shoes for the evening. And I don't know if you have a fan, Mel, so I'll go ahead and thwap for that. There we go. Okay. So, Mel, thank you so much for joining us. And what is going on with you?
Oh, boy. There you go. Right. Well, tonight I'm doing this. Monday. Shari, is this our Monday to do our show or not?
No, next Monday.
Okay. 12th. Well, we'll talk. Okay. So Monday with Linda Grindle, Tuesday with Arthur. The 7th, I'm leaving to go to Europe. I'm going to teach a seminar in Slovakia, believe it or not.
Nice.
Right on the border of the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So I'm going to fly to Vienna. My friend Eva Skorpikova, she's a wonderful healer, pranic healer. She is rent space from me, but she asked me to go there. She's going to translate. So I'm going to do a 2-day seminar there. Then I'll fly back to Vienna. Only reason because Vienna is closer to where we're going to be than it is from Prague. Then I'll fly to the UK for a couple of days. There's some venues I want to look at, supposedly some haunted places. I'm going to be staying in one and thinking about maybe doing some seminars there. And then I'll fly back to Vienna, spend the night, and then back home. So I'll
Oh,
be back home on the 16th. And then, boy, I'm getting ready after that. For my Rhine River cruise departing on September the 6th. We'll be gone 13 days. I've got 43 people on that. And then I'm getting ready for our Chicago event that's going to be September the 26th to the 28th. It'll be on a Thursday evening, all day Friday, all day Saturday. Linda's going to be here. Deanne, Kevin Chandler, Kevin Lewis. Let's see, Kim Copeland. Aiden is going to tape everything. Psychic Arthur is going to MC. So we've got 4 spaces left. So if you guys are interested, call my office, 847-590-5411. So that's what's going on.
wow. Wow. That's a God, I'm breathless. I don't know how you're going to do all
Talk
that.
about
But
jet lag.
good for you. Good for you. Enjoy.
Well,
You must have
when I had cancer, I said, I'm just going to get busier when I'm over it. And I turned 70 in March. And I'm like, I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to keep going.
God bless you. Yeah, keep going. And wow, that's great. You must have a lot of planets in Sag, or at least one big one in Sagittarius, because they're the travelers.
I've
They're
got
the
3 in
ones who-
Scorpio.
Oh, okay. Well, those are not travelers, but that's okay. All right. So I am Colleen Pearl, your host, the Cool Crone, and I am getting ready to do fair, the New York Renaissance Fair, starting August 17th. So if you're in the New York area, around Tuxedo, New York, which is outside of New York City, please come and see it. It's been going, I found out today, it's been going for 47 years. They've been doing this fair. And it's 7 weekends, starting usually about mid-August, going through the first weekend in October. And they also do have a fair on Labor Day. And it is as authentic Renaissance clothing, food, merchandise, and behavior as they can get to. And I'm one of the tarot readers there, so it's pretty fun. And this year, I'm going to be joined by my oldest daughter, who's going to be helping and subbing in for me as a reader at the fair. So I'm really super excited about that.
Yay.
Yeah, because she's super excited about it. So it's running in the family. I love it. So, so let's get going. So the first thing I want to talk about, I think, is Monsieur Trump and his faux pas and his inability to keep stupid racial comments out of his mouth. Do we think that this is going to impact the electorate? Are people going to be turned off, turned on? Is it going to help him, hurt him? Is it going to make him feel any way? What do we think is going to happen with all of these? I mean, he's not stopping, I don't think. But what do you all think about this? And what do you think the impact of this will be on his campaign, on JD Vance, whose wife is also a woman of color? What do we think is going to happen there? Mel, you look like you got something on your mind.
I've always got something on my mind. My ADD's in full gear. Well, the definition of faux pas is a significant or embarrassing error or mistake, blunder. When I heard, I don't know if it's a blunder on his part, but I think he made those comments because he wanted to be the center of the spotlight again. And he doesn't care what he says or what he does to get that attention. And in the past, it's worked. But this time, it's karma come home to roost. Mm-hmm. Kamala was Indian, and no, I can't do his voice, but no, she's not an Indian. No, she's black, but she's not black. It's the same bull hockey that he tried with the whole birther issue. And now they're like showing her birth certificate. You see, she's Indian. Here's my point. Who cares?
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be having this narrative, not on here, but in this country. Hitler did that. Like, I put the Jews in this wonderful place. And nobody said anything about, but why did you put Jews there in the first place? Yeah. What difference does it make if she's black, yellow, green, purple, gay, straight? Who cares? It's something that he's doing to try to gain favorability with his base.
I totally agree.
It's not going to work this time.
Yeah.
You know, isn't it?
What's going to work is Kamala is going to stick to the facts.
Yeah.
And she's going to beat him with facts. Here's what this country, here's the facts, and here's what we're going to do about it. She's not going to cave in, and she's gaining so much momentum. I talked to Linda Grindle this morning, and Linda said, you know, Mel, she's going to win by a landslide. And when Linda said that, I got cold chills.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala is going to whoop his butt. So, you know, I don't think he said it to be embarrassing. I think he said it to be a bully, just like he tried to bully the moderator when she asked him for, you know, about DEI. And he goes, well, what is your definition of that?
Yeah.
You know why? Because he probably didn't know what it meant. He thought it was a word.
He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know what
He
it
didn't
meant.
think it was a word.
He didn't know what it meant. That's why he kept wanting her
Correct.
to give a definition of it.
I mean, he was speaking to a group of Black journalists. And then, oh my God, the biggest part of it was when he said, well, we have to do something at the border because we haven't done anything. Excuse me, Donald, there was a bill put into, you know, proposed to the House that was the most, by a conservative, that would have been the most conservative bill on immigration. And Donald, you're the one that nixed it because you didn't want it. Why, Donald? Because you want to make this whole border thing bigger than what it is. And it's not the crisis that he's saying it is. So he could have a campaign, something to campaign about. And then when he said, oh, well, they take Black jobs, I wanted to scream. That did it for me. My blood pressure hit the roof. I mean, come on. That was such an insult to people coming across the border and such an insult to Black people. It was horrible.
Yeah.
He said the same rhetoric before. Oh, the Mexicans, they're thieves, they're rapists, they're this. I mean, you know, he's playing on xenophobia, but it's not working. His poll numbers are plummeting. Nobody's donating. Republicans are turning against him. And this is the fall of Donald Trump.
Yay. Oh, yay. Thank you, Mel. That was very good. Very good. And Val, I think you had something you wanted to add.
I always pipe in. But, you know, it's about Donald Trump saying things that people are kind of numb to in his party, in his group. They're so numb. They've heard 10 million times things worse than that. I mean, that trigger them as a group. This is like a feather landing on them. They're not paying any attention to what he's saying because it's just not enough to stir up his base anymore. And they're kind of turning deaf ears and walking out of his rallies even. It's just boring to them now. And he's kind of boring and has lost his pizzazz. So there's something missing. And the JD Vance part of it is just icing on the cake. Now, isn't it? So, so here it is. He's going to blame, as a narcissist, everyone around him, including JD Vance. He will be blamed. He is being blamed. So what is going to happen? I don't think legally he can change at this point. I don't believe he can because they've already had their RNC convention, and he's already been nominated and all of that good stuff. Mm-hmm. So legally, the ticket is being printed everywhere. It's already done deal. And I think there is only one thing that can happen to change that, and that's if he pulls out because he's sick, not Trump, but I mean JD Vance, or something life-changing. I think there is something in there that can take over in that situation, because I really believe he would like to change him out. So whether he can make that happen or not, I would, we'll see. But I don't think even the money from Elon Musk is worth the JD Vance on the ticket at this point.
And you're jumping ahead to my second question, but I'm gonna jump back to, what is it, Mel?
My psychic light bulb just went off when you were talking, Val. Mm-hmm. I pulled the Nine of Swords. Trump, like upset, not being able to sleep. But with JD Vance, legally, I don't know if he can replace him or not. He's thinking about it. But what I've got my psychic light bulb went off. And why am I thinking that behind the scenes, Trump and a few other people are going to pressure Vance to step down?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if he resigns and steps down, that's a different ballpark, and that's what they're going to try.
Yeah.
I drew a few cards on this.
Okay.
First thing I drew was the Queen of Wands. That's Kamala. She's dedicated.
Sherry,
she's
which
smart.
question are you
The-
answering?
The
first
one that that Trump is thinking on with JD Vance. The one that
Okay,
we've
that's
all
the
been
second
in.
question. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
But he sees Trump hates Kamala because this is her. The Queen of Wands represents everything that is a strength with Kamala Harris. And Trump hates that. And the fact that she's also Black and Indian on top of it just is icing on that cake. She's also getting all the money, and he can't stand it. Money is pouring in by the truckloads for her. And all he's got is a dance with the devil.
Yay.
Because he dances so well with the devil.
I would call him, well, the devil don't want him. The devil thinks he's
The devil can't. He's bored.
No,
He's bored too and doesn't want to dance with him anymore.
Yeah, the devil has already said, I'm sorry, we changed the locks in hell. You can't come here. So
I really like when you said that his karma is coming home to roost now.
Oh, yeah.
Now that this is like, you can see the energy is completely sucked out of his whole campaign. As Kamala's took off, his just sunk like a rock.
Mhm. Yeah, and I mean the fact that the poor guy is wearing diapers is also a big karmic indictment, I think. I mean, how much more of an indictment do you need? Okay, so I threw some cards on the first question, which was Trump's faux pas about race. And one thing, when Mel started talking, I thought, Mel, you were going to say, well, it can't be a faux pas because he doesn't feel embarrassed by it.
right. Exactly. That's my point.
And yet what my cards are saying is that he does feel something, because he's feeling really hemmed in. He's feeling like he's kind of put himself in a corner, and he's going to go off to lick his wounds. He's going to go off and try to be by himself. He's very worried. Look, he's actually going to lose sleep over it. And then he's going to come out and be the petulant little toddler that he always is. So I do think that this will have an effect on him. And Cleo, did you have anything to add to that, or are you doing the thing about Vance, or what are you doing?
I just wanted to say that, first of all, everything Mel said, 100%.
Yeah, 100%, Mel. Yeah.
But also, this thing about that they're acting like Kamala's in the honeymoon phase and that this is going to fade out. No, it's not going to fade out. It's now up over to $310 million. So that's very good. But then Trump, I mean, I'm watching what he's doing and I'm thinking, are you trying to lose? Why would you come up with such stupid things about race? I mean, it just proves he's a racist. On the other hand, I still got this bad feeling about him. He's rigging that election. Oh, and by the way, there is a bunch of Republicans that are just shocked at what he said about Kamala Harris, and they are backing out. And there's a bunch of them that are telling us now they're going to vote. They are going to vote for Kamala Harris.
The scary part about it is that, see, the reason I said it wasn't a faux pas is because he, I think, actually felt right and empowered in what he said. And he was trying to get people to question like her integrity because, by saying she's something and she's not and blah, blah, blah. Donald Trump, in my psychic opinion, is afraid. And when he gets afraid, he goes on the attack, just like he attacked the commentator. well, you caused me to be a half hour late. The equipment's working. This place is
He
horrible.
was whining.
When really the reason it was late is because they were trying to fact check him, and he was arguing with them backstage that they couldn't fact check him. And why? Because he knew he was going to come up with a crock of BS lies, and he knew if they fact checked him, they could call him on it.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
I think what he's feeling, Colleen, I think he's feeling fear
Yeah.
of losing, or fear because he doesn't know what to do. But I think what he's trying to do is his old tricks of deceive, divert, detract, right? And distract. And, and that technique is no longer working.
Right. What I've been getting is, he is 78, and while that isn't ancient, it's old enough, and he has not been a man who has tended to his health and body. And I think his brain is gone. I think he's just totally in the throes of dementia, or what is that, temporal-frontal dementia?
Frontal
Yeah.
temporal.
Frontal temporal. Yeah, I
Either
think
that or
totally.
cerebral atrophy, one or the other.
And I think that he really, he's narcissistic. So here we have a person who is just really trying to dig in his heels and, do what he's always done to fight back. And you're right, the tactics just don't work. They're sad, they're old, they're tired. And now we have this much younger person as your opponent who is spinning circles around you because she can spin on a dime. And her supporters are everywhere. This has got to be making him bananas. I mean, I keep saying the poor guy. He's not, I don't feel sorry for him, but he is a pathetic figure now. And I think that's what we're going to see. It's going to, for a lot of people, at the end, people are going to be like, quit beating up on him. We know he lost. You don't have to embarrass him anymore.
You know what's tragically, it's really pathetic. The theatrics, the optics aren't working, but it's tragically funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it's tragically funny.
It is.
Well, did you laugh? Did you watch that interview with?
I laughed because it was.
I laughed.
Ridiculous.
I burst. I was at work and I was kind of like tuning in, and I was like, oh, I can't believe he said that. I mean, I just burst out with it. People are like, "Are you okay over there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fine."
He couldn't answer the interviewer's questions at all. He never answered anything.
No.
He didn't answer the DEI question because he doesn't know what DEI stands for.
But did you hear them
told him what it meant? He still didn't understand.
He thought it was a word. It was, well, how do you define that? Well, what is your definition of it? I did. Diversity, equality.
And did you hear the audience when he said, I love the black population? And that the audience was kind of like, oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear the curve.
You can hear it. You can hear this.
Wait a minute. He has done more for the blacks than Abraham Lincoln.
I have been with the black people than any presidents in Abraham Lincoln. Yes. I was driving and I had to pull over. I swear I had to pull over. I was like, what? I got home and I said to my husband, I said, did you hear what Cheeto Head did? He goes, I was watching. He goes, I was wondering if you were listening to it, how were you reacting? I said, well, what do you think? I was swearing like a drunken sailor.
Yeah, he's very, very pathetic. So let's drill down more though on this Vance question. And I just got to say up front, I've been listening to Pod Save America, and those guys who run that worked in the Obama White House, and they said, no, there's not really any rule. There might be some deadlines that they're going to miss for printing the ballots, like a early voting deadline, I think in Ohio or something. But he could change out. Mm-hmm. He could change out, but they didn't think that politically it would be very smart for him to just overtly just make him step down. They should try to force him to step down so that he can claim a health problem.
If they do, and I got a feeling they will, the person he picks will be 10 times worse than JD Vance.
Yeah. I'm just doing a little Google search here. who's left? I mean, I think Stephen Miller is pretty much fully employed at the Heritage Foundation, so I don't think he's available.
I mean, he called Chuck Schumer. He said he was a member of Hamas.
Oh,
Chuck
no.
Schumer Jewish. I'm like,
That?
what?
Can you believe that?
He's a member of
It's
Hamas.
crazy. I wanted to find out how many. There's all these new groups. Like there's White Guys for Harris.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Republicans that have been, supporting Harris. The Haley voters for Harris. All these things. And I wanted to Google it to see, well, what are all the groups? But it doesn't come up. So somebody needs to make a little spreadsheet for me listing all of the Republican groups that are supporting Kamala Harris.
Well,
I think it's
Kelly
significant.
Conway's ex-husband, what's his name? George
Conway. Yep.
He started that thing. I just saw it last night. I was laughing. It's
Hilarious. Let's tell everybody about that.
or something, psychopath.com. He's a conservative, but he's really anti-Trump. And he's going to be formidable in diverting votes away from T-Rump.
Yeah. There's a good chance that JD Vance could step down.
Yeah.
I got the
like
sun.
the bulb went off, and I'm thinking, they're going to.
Yeah, it's a strong possibility. So.
Well, they're bringing up all this stuff about he's changed his name 5 times or 4 times or something. And, he's really limited on his political experience. He's only been in office for something like 18 months.
Yeah, 18 months.
And don't forget, he has no charisma.
With no charisma. And, he was somebody that was bought and paid for by the Heritage Foundation. They probably gave money to Trump to have him have JD Vance. And, I just don't see the point. And now I know he is regretting it, but he better, I don't know. Do you think he'll wait till after the Democratic convention?
No, he's just waiting for Kamala to pick her VP. And then
that's right. Okay.
And he'll know who to pick when he gets JD
I pulled
Vance.
the card for JD Vance, and look what I pulled.
Yeah. And Mel, they did uncover proof that, they didn't have to even dig very hard. I think like his high school yearbook and stuff like that, he was really out. He was out of the closet completely. Yeah. And then
That's why I think
switch.
Yeah, and I think for entertainment purposes, Colleen, he's, the one who's what's his name, who's been funding him all this time. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little something for entertainment purposes.
I'm
Peter Thiel. Yeah.
Do you get that, Mel?
Yes. I'm like, there's something right there.
Something there that is more of a.
I know. I pulled the 5 of Cups.
Who does that?
Regretting it.
Yeah.
And then I got the King of Cups reversed.
Yeah.
So discombobulated there with everything. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Followed by the 3 of Wands reversed. He's just a wreck. He doesn't know which direction to go in. He doesn't know who to blame, so he's blaming everybody.
This is 2024. And if somebody's LGBTQ, I don't care about their sexuality. I don't care about their heritage. I don't care about anything like that. As long as they can do a good job, Kamala, stick to the facts, here's a strategic plan, and reach across and work with people, even if they disagree with you. But this nastiness, this hate, this vilification of people that are of different color, of different sexual orientation will stop. But JD Vance, I don't really care if he's bi, straight, gay. Pardon my language, I don't care if he wants to go to bed with a fish or
of course not.
Or with a shrimp. I don't care. But no pun intended. But sorry, I couldn't pass that one. But to say at some point along the line, I am, gay or bi, and then all of a sudden this this rhetoric are to be in a movement that is so anti-LGBTQ. Of course, they'll say they're not, but we know they are. That is hypocrisy. And I have no place in my vocabulary for hypocrisy. That is what is wrong. And that is what is going to bite them in the butt.
I think you're right. This is his unconscious stuff that he says, like old women and cats. And this is his tower card for JD Vance, because he can't help but screw himself or shoot himself in the foot. This is because he knows who he is, and it's not flying with this whole thing that he's in, this MAGA movement.
That would explain the eyeliner.
That would explain the
I
eyeliner.
have been
Don't
saying
forget,
that ever
he put
since
the
they showed
eyeliner
pictures
on.
of him. Why is he wearing eyeliner?
He wears it because it's part of his.
And
routine.
didn't
That
Trump
persona is trying to come out.
Well, hold on, though.
But
Just because he wears eyeliner doesn't make him gay. There are straight men who like that.
No.
That.
Not
And
even.
if he wants to wear eyeliner, who cares? I don't
in
care.
the Senate?
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't care if he wears a dress that's purple with pink polka dots. Well, the fashion on that might not be good. But the point is, I don't care how he dresses. I don't care. What I care about is not standing in judgment, not being a hypocrite, and don't judge other people until you take a look at yourself. And it's all about, the MAGAs are all about the judgment. They're all about the vilifying everybody else. It's all about the xenophobia, and it's old and it's not working.
Right.
And so as a
The
gay
only time I care about what they wear or how they present themselves is when they skirt the line with doing it themselves and then turn around and point the finger at somebody else and try to make them feel shame because this young man saw Vance wearing eyeliner and thought, oh, it's cool for me to do the same. And so he wears it, and what happens? He gets called out and gets beat up or whatever the situation he may be in. It's the fact that you're running a double-sided sword there.
That's a hypocrisy I'm talking about.
Right. I mean, and that's the only time I can joke about it, but that's the only time I care about how they dress or what they wear, what makeup they put on. I don't give a crap. But when they're going to use it to hurt someone else, then I care.
Of course, in my opinion, my professional opinion, the eyeliner doesn't work well with the beard. You know what I mean?
Well, I was just thinking they use the eyeliner with the beard to toughen his look up, because he apparently before the beard he had a really big baby face.
He has a baby face.
So they tried to make him look more masculine, and maybe that was part of the.
At least he doesn't have orange skin with big white circles around his.
I think that's his next choice for a look. Look, I see, here's his rise to power, his big, yay, I'm in the sun and I'm going to do great. And here he is partying and we have the convention. But you know what? It's coming to an end. It's just coming to an end. He's just not going to make it. Now, the advocate says that the Hillbilly Elegy contains a revealing anecdote about his childhood belief that he was gay. Influenced by a preacher's condemnation of homosexuality, young Vance feared he was destined for hell simply because he disliked girls and cherished his friendship with another boy. So his mama, who he talked about at his acceptance speech, swiftly dispelled his fears with a blunt question and an assurance of divine love regardless of his sexual orientation. So mama supported the eyeliner. We'll just use that as the metaphor for what we're talking about here, entertainment purposes only. So it's very interesting that he can be so outwardly anti-gay, but obviously, and also anti-racial people, other people of race. He's married to a woman of Indian descent and has children with her. His children are biracial. So how can this man be a part of the MAGA? It just doesn't make sense. And how stupid are the MAGA for bringing him in when he's such an obvious target of ridicule for all of this?
They take Trump.
If you want to take a look at the answer to that, look at in Nazi Germany what happened to gay people, but what also happened to Jewish people, Jehovah's Witnesses,
Mhm.
The Catholics.
some Catholics, like I said, Jew, and yeah, but okay. So in the concentration camps, what the Nazis did is they would make Jewish people the kapos. Kapos will be the bosses, and so you'd think, well, how could they turn against people, of their own kind? It happened, and I've the rise of Hitler and the whole Nazi era. My dad was in World War II. Fascinates me, and people wonder how Hitler came to power. He did so by playing on people's xenophobia. He did so by burning the Reichstag and blaming it on somebody Jewish. It didn't happen overnight, and that's exactly what is taking place in this country. But at least people are waking up to it. And it'll never get to that, but it very easily could.
It very easily could.
Hitler had a guy, I think, Rome and Storm. He was gay. And then Hitler was convinced, I think, by Heinrich Himmler or whomever, that Ernst Röhm was trying to overturn him. So Hitler had Rome arrested, all these gay people shot, and then put in concentration camps. So it's reminiscent of what happened in Nazi Germany with this whole JD Vance thing.
Yeah, and that Aryan thing against homosexuality has persisted in our country to today. Most cultures don't care what your sexuality is. They have different words for it. They have language for it. They accept it. It doesn't bother them. It's just another way of loving. It's just another way of being. And they don't make a big effing deal out of it. But this kind of Aryan thought that there has to be an other and that you have to put people down for it. I'm sorry, it's still in this country, big time.
And that defines the whole Trump regime and the MAGAs to a T. The Aryan, that the whites are supreme, that they are all that in a piece of toast, and everybody else is crap.
They're superior in their intelligence and in their genetics and in every way, shape, and form.
That's exactly a good way, Colleen, that you've described it. It's Aryan, and it's really wrong.
It's really wrong.
So many fronts.
Really wrong.
Fronts.
Because we're going to a global community.
Right.
That is inclusive of everyone. There are no borders in the energy. We are all one world. And those who are separating out into these little pockets are going to have some kind of reckoning about how they are not coalescing with everyone. And it's just happening. It's happening energetically. And it's happening right now with Trump. So, yeah.
And he's not adjusting well. This jump in timeline or whatever happened with, the changes that we've been going through. Again, Trump is an old, sick, weak man who wears diapers and puts ridiculous makeup on his face and does his hair like it's like friggin' Marie Antoinette up there. And he just does not get that he is past it, that all of this bullying and all of this crap is just way old. Like he missed the boat. It's just so pathetic and tragic. And I just wish that he would just take a nap and not wake up. I mean,
I see the tide changing where it's no longer going to be the white, bigoted, Aryan, if you will, people, and many white, bigoted, racist, old men are no longer running this country. It's going to come to a close. I pulled a card on JD Vance, and it's the 7 of Cups. Illusion, delusion, confusion. And that, I think, speaks for him and Trump's whole aura right now. Illusion, delusion, and confusion. And that's what they want to start. They want to create chaos and anarchy. That's exactly what Trump wanted at that meeting of Black journalists he attended. But it's not going to work any longer.
It's not. And Vance very much reminds me of what was his first name? George Santos.
Oh yeah, yeah,
he's just got that same energy going there. Now, what do we think is going to cause him to step down? Is he going to feign an illness or family matters, or is Trump going to? I mean, maybe Trump will turn around and shoot him in the head. I don't know. It's going to happen. Entertainment purposes only. Come on, YouTube. You know I'm snarky. Don't get on me now. Okay.
I think it revolve around his wife.
I was going to say
something
that would be
something they do or say against his wife that he's going to have to either stand out against his people there and defend her, or he's going to have to throw her under the bus like Ted Cruz did to his wife.
Well, now that just plays into the idea of they're going to pressure him to step down. All they have to do is find his little weak spot, his little warm, gushy button, and poke it, and then he'll go, "Oh no, I have to step down." You know?
Yeah, they won't want to publicize that though, because they don't want to make Trump look wrong. But this is like the home fires burning that candle in the window kind of thing. And I pulled the death card. So there is something about home. He'll use it as an excuse, and they'll unearth something inside to get him to step down with no.
I think it has to do with his sexuality.
Yeah.
But then that just shows how pathetic it really is. Somebody put in the comments here, I want to read if I can. J.O. says, I think much Aryan homophobia has more to do with the supremacist thirst for power, with undertones of some strange sexual oppression they're afraid to recognize and admit to. So they punish others for it. I agree with that. I think, I have often said those people that are most rabid, the most rabid homophobes, the most homophobic ones, got a little sugar in their gas tank on their own,
You betcha, because why would they be so afraid of it? They'd be accepting of it because they wouldn't care. Everybody can live their own life.
If somebody's really secure with their sexuality, they don't care about other sexuality.
That's what it is.
Are you guys old enough to remember Mr. Hoover and his dresses?
Yes.
Well, okay. Perfect case in point.
Yes.
I mean, perfect case in point. Why, you don't have to look any further than that for just a textbook example.
Sure. Yeah.
So we think that they're going to pressure him. I think that too. I've always thought that. I don't think that it's going to be Trump saying, "Oh, after consideration, I've decided I really hate this guy." Of course, he's not going to come out and say that, but they'll do it all behind closed doors. It'll be a fait accompli when Vance finally crumbles to the floor and says, "Okay, I'll step down." And in the meantime, they've already got their, new bright and shiny pick in the other room, all buffed up and ready to come out into the sunlight. And then, JD will make some sort of, do you think he'll make a speech?
I am wondering if it's Nikki Haley, because she just keeps coming into my mind, even though Trump would throw a gasket over a woman running with him.
And an Indian woman does that.
Yes. He's
surrounded. He's surrounded. JD Vance's wife, Kamala Harris, and Nikki Haley.
If he picks Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
That's even a worse mistake and if she does it, because she's not going to kill her political career for Trump.
Oh no.
She has, I know she endorsed him now, but she is, during that campaign, and she's spoken out against him and all of that. And it would be political suicide for her.
Correct. Yes.
I think the person he picks is going to make JD Vance look like a warm summer breeze.
Oh my gosh.
JD Vance is going
to
look
a cold trickle.
Wonderful compared to who he picks. I'm kind of hoping he picked Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I don't think he will.
Oh, I was just going to ask, do you think it's going to be somebody from Congress?
Well, if he does, he's got to be careful with that, because it could tip the scales of the House.
I don't
Yeah.
think he cares. I think he thinks in his mind, I can just make sure we plug in another Republican because he really believes in the power of Putin.
Right.
I think he wants to put his daughter in that position, and he just hadn't figured out a way to get everybody else to agree.
But
To-
his
to
pick
put
is really his pick is gonna
Ivanka.
Ivanka as his VP.
Yes.
I don't think so because
Because
he's
that
so
way when
pissed
he
off that
becomes
nobody showed
dictator,
up.
he can
No.
automatically pass it down to her when he's too.
He's still mad that nobody showed up at his trial except Eric. His 34 count felony trial. And I think he has a little bad feelings about all of that and their absence in his life since. And
Just a little aside on his trial. I just got a news blurb. The 2020 election fraud case just got handed back to Tanya Chutkan.
I just did a video on it before we went on, but I didn't have time to upload it. So yes, it got back down. It got handed.
It just came across in my news feed. I was like, oh.
Now, as far as him asking Ivanka or trying to get Ivanka, it's because she doesn't want it. I don't think I don't think he would care about convincing anybody. I think he would just hand it down like an edict. You know, oh yeah, her husband would jump at it. She didn't want it. She didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But what about Lara Trump?
Oh yes, she'd want to do it like in a New York minute.
But would he pick her?
Whoever he picks will
He doesn't know who she is.
A little bit I have of it.
Okay. Say again, Mel. What would you say?
Whoever he picks will curl my hair what little bit I have left of it. I don't know if it's going to be one of his daughters.
His biggest problem is trying to remember who Lara Trump is.
Right.
Daughter-in-law.
Yeah, I know that, but he doesn't know that half the time.
No, I'm seeing a white man next to him.
That's what I see.
I'm going to see a like a Pence clone or something, you know.
Or unless he picks Ben Carlson, you know, Donald Trump. No, Donald Trump's wants a yes man. Yes, 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 yes. Or well, yes, woman, whatever.
And Ben Carson can't say yes. He says, well, I could see that.
I just asked if they would force Vance to step down, and I got the magician.
Yeah,
Totally.
They definitely are.
It might even be in the works right this minute.
It is in the works right now.
Absolutely.
Because they have to have a reason why they're hiding all the meetings talking about the new VP pick from him.
Yeah. The star, it clearly is.
Yeah.
But I think, Colleen, you're right. I think he'll wait until to see who Kamala picks for a vice president. Yes. They're running scared because Trump had geared his campaign against running against Biden. And now there's a new sheriff in town. And they don't know how to run the campaign because there's Kamala not knowing who she's going to pick. Before they knew Biden, Harris. Now they don't. And I heard his campaign manager or something talk today, and she reminds me of another Kellyanne Conway, the same divert, deceive, detract. And I heard her talk. I'm like, she didn't answer a question. I'm like, it's not working. It's just not.
So I want to see. I mean, we're a bunch of psychics here. Let's see if we can pull this out of the ethers. Do you think, since they already know they're going to dump Vance, are they like just kind of everybody's just kind of like dissing him all the time back in the campaign? Or they treating him
from day
like,
one? So many of them didn't agree with it from day one. It was only the money from Musk that turned the corner for Trump to say yes, and that was it.
Yeah. So
as soon as Biden flipped out with Kamala, Musk drew his money back.
He's being disrespected in his camp. Right and left.
I'm imagining that if he gets up from the table saying, I'm just going to go to the restroom, 5 people run in first.
Oh, you know it. I mean,
it's bad. If he goes to reach for a sandwich, everybody else goes, oh, wait, I want that one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's definitely not welcomed into the fold like he's one of them. No. That's
good. Okay. So anything else we want to say about Mr. Vance? Good, because I'm sick of him.
Mr. Vance. I mean,
JD, we have to have a going away party for you.
Goodbye, so
we're only there
long.
for
I'll
10
be
minutes.
listening to.
I'll say what they say in Italian. Scrivi quando arrivi. In Italian, that means write when you get there.
Yeah. All right. So now Kamala Harris's VP pick. What are we thinking? Let's just go around the circle. Everybody give me a little shot. Okay.
Kelly or Shapiro?
Shapiro. Even though they say this rhetoric about what's going to come up and bite him is his tie to Israel or whatever, that's not going to be a problem. Shapiro.
Somebody just texted me that Governor JD Pritzker interviewed twice for Kamala Harris VP slot, Chicago Tribune. I don't think it's JD Pritzker. He's the governor of Illinois.
Yeah.
He's a good governor, but I don't think
He doesn't have
that would be a good pick. I kind of thought of Gabby Gifford's husband. I can't think of his name.
Mark Kelly.
But I don't think it's him. I think it's a toss-up between Pete Buttigieg and Shapiro.
That's
I
what
really
wanted,
do.
Buttigieg.
I don't think she's going to take anybody out of the Senate or the House because the balance is too razor thin right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
So,
I feel like she won't.
I think it's Buttigieg, and I've been watching Buttigieg. And
Buttigieg is phenomenal.
Handles people with fact.
We love him. We wanted him to be down the road. He is going to be president. We already have him picked.
At first, it was like, is the country ready for a woman of color and a gay vice president? And I kind of thought the same thing until I've been watching Buttigieg on YouTube. I mean, not obsessively, but watching him. And I've watched him on Fox. I've watched him in the Senate. I've watched him in the House with that goofy, who's Jordan, that goofy guy.
Yeah. Jim Jordan.
I've noticed how you can't talk over him. If they try, he just keeps repeating the facts.
He's smooth. His energy is so brilliant. He knows what he's saying, but he has this hometown boy next door energy that you just like him. You can't help but like him. And he's brilliant. And he does it in a way that is he doesn't put anyone down. He's just telling you the facts. I mean, who wouldn't fall madly in love with Pete Buttigieg? He's just, I could be, I need one of those candles that Colleen has with Pete Buttigieg's face on there. Yeah, that one. Because, I'm in the Pete Buttigieg. I liked him from the minute. That's it. There it is. And I mean, I like that candle because he's going to be president one day.
I predicted he would be president one day. So we'll have the first gentleman, I think, Trump, I think, is really nervous about her picking Buttigieg because he's already made some comments about Buttigieg. And Buttigieg will just keep frying Donald Trump. He's gonna Buttigieg. He's he doesn't get angry. He doesn't let his emotions make his decisions for him. Or if he gets angry or frustrated, he doesn't show it. He's got that poker face, and it's like fact. And that's somebody that you want.
Well, absolutely. And he knows he has facts in his brain that are unbelievable.
The guy's brilliant. I don't care if he's gay, straight. I don't care about that. I care about, here again, his ability to run the country. Okay, he might not have much experience, but Barack Obama didn't.
I'm not worried about. I think that Pete Buttigieg could handle anything. I really have faith in him to do anything.
Yeah, Pete would be great.
He's destined to be president one day.
And I don't think she's going to pick him. I think she needs Pennsylvania, and I think Shapiro is the one that gives
Shapiro's the one who's going to be vice president. Shapiro will probably be the one, and Buttigieg will be saved. He'll probably be Secretary of State, or he'll have a more elevated position in the administration, and later he'll run for president.
Shapiro has charisma. Absolutely. He would be equally as good. But you know what, Cleo, I just had a question here. let's pretend she didn't pick Shapiro. I'm not saying she won't,
Right.
but I got a funny feeling she could take Pennsylvania anyway. I mean, she's already trending upward. I mean, there's one state where she's ahead, and the swing state, she's trending upward. You got to look at the trends, you know?
Yeah.
Not so much the polls, but the trends.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Even if she doesn't pick Shapiro, he would campaign for her and make sure that she gets the state of Pennsylvania. So it's a win-win either way.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, can I chime in? I'm the astrologer, and I looked at all of their charts.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, you know, Pete Buttigieg, yes, they have a famous friendship. Kamala and Buttigieg are very good friends, and they really like working together. However, this relationship means that every day for 4 years, they're going to have lunch together, and they're going to do a hell of a lot of work together. And for the two of them to work together, eventually they're going to butt heads. They're both too strong.
Yeah.
And I feel personally, just on a psychic level, it's not his time yet.
No, that's what
Yeah, this guy, he's not even, is he 50 yet? He's not even 50. I don't know. I can't remember. I should know. I'm
43 or something.
I could pull up the chart while I'm talking here. But so I don't think that I don't think it's his time for that. I think he's got, you know, plenty of, you know, he's wonderful, smart. He's got all this good stuff. So Buttigieg is 1982. He's such a baby. Oh my God, this guy is a baby. So his time is coming. He is going to have so many credentials racked up by the time he runs for president that people are going to be saying, yeah, why hasn't he been president yet? Jesus, we need him. We don't, not right now, because we are lousy with great candidates right now. We are very blessed with all these people. So Buttigieg, yes, maybe a different cabinet position, or maybe he stays in transportation, but because he's done so much for the infrastructure. Okay, Gretchen Whitmer, we're not even talking about. Josh Shapiro. Josh Shapiro and Kamala have very good connections in their chart. Good, but not great. They have a lot of connections where it's, you know, they'll be friendly, they'll bounce off one another, they'll have good conversations, it'll be nice and everything, but I feel he's more destined for the cabinet than for the VP pick.
I still think it's a toss-up between Buttigieg and Shapiro. I don't think she's made up her mind yet.
Oh no, I don't think she's made up her mind yet either. Mark Kelly, I looked at. He's very strong on governmental things, military things. He's big on the border, but he's actually pretty weak on foreign things, foreign relations. And I think that for her, his attitudes and his paradigms are too older generation for her. They're not in, even though he's younger than her, I think. Is Mark Kelly younger than her? I can't remember, but I think I'd have to pull up the chart. And so that's not a go either. But like I said, Josh Shapiro, I think probably a cabinet position. Buttigieg, probably a cabinet position. But the one that I really think, and you guys haven't even brought up his name, is Andy Bashir.
Yeah, that's the other guy.
Andy Bashir, his chart lines up with Kamala's like a key to a lock. They have lots of and also Josh Shapiro has a couple of karmic things, but Andy Bashir, they have karmic connections that are just crazy connected. And everything from his chart lines up with her chart. The four most important points in the chart are the cardinal points, you know, top, bottom, left, right, which is north, south, east, west in astrology. And when you hit planets on the other person's chart in those positions, that's a lock. But they also have the karmic planets of Saturn and the moon all involved with each other's charts. So I personally think
would bring in the southern vote.
Yeah, and I think that she could see herself having lunch with the guy every day for 4 years. I just want to go back to my notes on Josh Shapiro.
Andy Bashir is the governor of Kentucky. His dad was the governor as well a long time ago. And even people in Kentucky, even Republicans like Andy Bashir, he's an excellent governor down there.
Yes. It'd be a big loss for Kentucky if he takes it.
And I think Kamala is thinking of him as well, because she's thinking, because he is the governor of Kentucky, then she could probably get a few southern states.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But here again, it's the same as we were saying about Shapiro. Even if she doesn't pick him, he will campaign for her very, very diligently in Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
He was my original first pick after Buttigieg.
I gave up on him because
I
I thought that he would not be able to, after he left for the VP position, they wouldn't be able to put another Democrat in there in Kentucky. I thought that kind of like X'd him out of the role, but maybe not. Maybe he's so loved that, maybe it could be a good thing to gain more Southern votes. And
well,
I was looking at, how do they have compatibility? And she has a certain amount of compatibility with Shapiro, Beshear, and Buttigieg. The other contenders, not so much.
And Kelly is 60, by the way.
That's about her age. She's 59.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're contemporary, but his ideas are a little old. And Walsh too, Tim Walsh. Tim Walsh, that's the one that's 10 years younger than her. And I think she likes him, and he's amazing, and he's getting a lot of buzz right now, but I didn't see the connection for them astrologically. Now, she could go with Shapiro because she does have some karmic connections with him. But what was that thing? There was something that
she's going to pick somebody who's charismatic, who's nice looking,
and
who will not bend or bow to pressure.
Yes.
And Linda Grindle calls Pete Buttigieg bootylicious. Okay, he's nice looking. Andy Beshear is really nice looking. Josh Shapiro is nice looking. But I think what she's going to do is pick somebody that will, a person who has an ability to think with their head and not with their emotion, and not allow people like Trump or Vance or whoever it is to
intimidate them,
angry, or to react emotionally.
Yeah, that's right. Now, with Andy Beshear, with every relationship, you need the good flow of energy, but you also need a little tension, a little resistance, and that's where each person of the pair kind of tests the other one. How do you feel about me? Will you fight for me? Will you fight for this relationship? And she has that with all three of them. But I do think really strongly that Buttigieg, no, he's too strong. He's too much. He's too perfect. But he's also needed elsewhere, and this is not his time. So I think it's between Beshear and Shapiro. They both have pretty good qualities. I think Beshear has the better astrological connection to her. And she's a very intuitive person. And I know she goes off of her gut quite a bit. She's born on a full moon, and that Aries moon is always about the gut. She's always impulsive. The fire really runs her. And if she feels what I'm seeing in his chart, she'll pick Andy Beshear.
And that's what I've thought all along. Those two people that you're talking about. But Shapiro first and Beshear second. But we'll just see.
And there could be some reason, like you said, with Shapiro, either not because he's Jewish, but because of losing that leadership in Pennsylvania, that might be a problem. But I'm sorry, Val.
I'm sorry. I just got the tower for Beshear, which doesn't mean that much, but
it means his life is going to change.
It could mean his life is going to change, and Kentucky's going to be without their favorite. So, that doesn't really.
The tower could mean a move. It could mean changing.
Except I just pulled this card as my second card.
He's walking away from Kentucky, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And he's going into a leadership role. So there you are.
The being picked for VP is one of the weirdest political phenomena I can think of. It's like being an understudy and being asked to go on for the star of the show on opening night. It's like, oh my God, really? He didn't campaign. He didn't try for it. He didn't ask for it. He was asked, because these are, except for Gretchen, these are all men. So it's just such a weird thing in our politics that, and now you just get to pick someone to run with you. Okay. I
Well,
can pick
Gretchen stepped down, so she's
Whichever
No,
one
I
of those three she picks. Now, Kevin Chandler feels she'll pick Shapiro. And
I
I
heard
think
you say that.
he's at the top of her list, but there's others. I think it's those three. But we can rest assured that whoever she picks, the other people that she didn't pick are really going to go out there and hit the pavement and campaign for her.
Yeah.
And they're also probably going to end up in her cabinet.
Yeah. Well,
she's got connections.
I have a funny
to
feeling
them.
she's not going to want to pull people out of the House or the Senate.
No. These are governors though. But I think Shapiro and Bashir, if she does, whichever one she does not pick, the other one will be in the cabinet. And of course, Buttigieg will be in the cabinet. But I'm not so sure that like a Kelly or a Waltz is going to be in the cabinet. Oh, and the other thing that I found when I looked at Gretchen Whitmer's chart along with Kamala Harris' chart, good Lord, those two women could run the goddamn world.
I have always loved Gretchen Whitmer, so I mean,
yeah, me too.
The power between them and the synastry between them, the linking of their minds, the power of their ideas, their complete lack of ego with each other. Just like you thought of that, I thought of that. Let's do this, let's do that, and also they bolster the idea that they don't have to do it because it's always been done a certain way. That in fact they have to look at it with completely new eyes and take things in a new direction. So powerful between the two of them. I can't wait to see what they do. Maybe Gretchen at some point in a second term of Kamala's, maybe she'll get pulled into that cabinet. But wow, that was just amazing.
I don't think she's going to pick Gretchen Whitmer as a running mate.
Gretchen.
No, she won't, because Gretchen already pulled out.
No. Gretchen already said no, but I looked at her chart just to see what could be in the future, and they definitely have a future with each other. Not this, but something else.
I love both of them, so I think that's great.
Yeah. So,
all right, I've got to run.
Yep, we're going to wrap it up here, folks. We've been on for a little over an hour. I wanted to keep the show to an hour. Mel, thank you so much. You did an excellent job kind of anchoring the show for us without Gerald here. And thank you to everybody who was in my beautiful psychics who helped us to talk about all this. Thank you to everybody who was in the chat. And with that, I think we're going to say, see ya. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Bye.